Well, welcome everyone. Thank you for coming to our product overview for Enumerate. We hope to show you some dazzling features and some wonderful things that can easily, conveniently make your operations simpler and more efficient. With that, let's go ahead and see who you're talking to today. So me, Adam Pierce, I am the product marketing manager here for Enumerate, and I do quite a few webinars along with my partner in crime, Nicole Bill. She is our solutions architect here. She knows the system inside and out, so please bring your tough questions and quandaries and try to stump her. So she likes that, or at least I'm going to say, right? She's been in the industry for a very long time. I'll just say that, Nicole. So you are definitely, so not only on the software side with us, but also in real life. So she can back it up, what she's talking about. So, and she can also commiserate with you on some of those issues that go on from your day-to-day operations and help you out with them. So with that, let's go ahead and jump in. So a little bit about who we are, if this is your first webinar with us. We are a multi-solution for community and HOA management, and property management, of course. And so everything from resident engagement, we have one of the probably biggest and most advanced resident engagement system, which is called Engage. It's our platform for our homeowners and residents that takes care of everything from communications to payments and to work orders or a request, and it also has some great social functions to keep your neighborhoods connected to one another as well. From security to ops management, so those tickets that you all love working, and CCRs, to our really core of our product, which is accounting and payments, which is the main kind of gist of how we got started as Enumerate. You may have heard us before as TOPS or TOPS Soft, TOPS Pro, TOPS One. That is how the company got started in about 1984. So a bit ago. We've been around for a long time, so don't let the new name throw you off. Let's go forward. So about our software, we really pride ourselves on three main tenets. We like to make our software very intuitive. So what that means is easy to use, but also that it makes your job easier as well. So keep performance indicators on the top of the tabs to just alert you that something needs attention, or whether it's just the easy flow of the menu and the action items that you need to complete wherever you are. So if you're in the AP module or section, all of your AP activities are there for you. You're not going to have to hunt and peck and search and go all over the place to post a payment or write a check. So we definitely make it intuitive with the interface, with how all the features are connected, and as smart as the system can be so it works directly for you. The next thing that we do is we try to make it as simple as possible. So that kind of works with intuitive, so making sure that you're not having to guess what you're doing. You can from the flows and the workflows, you can easily and quickly get to where you need to go or get what you need done, but also simplifying some of the things that you have to do. There are a lot of tasks that we know you have to do on a daily basis, and what's the point of software if it can't, one, make it easier, faster, more efficient, and error-free, and two, do it for you? So our automated workflows or our automated tasks, as well as smart banking and our API integrations that really connect the whole ecosystem or ecosphere of what you have to do. So we definitely that's our main tenet, is to make it very simple for you. And then lastly, we make it work. So I know that sounds kind of silly or simple, but if with all the fancy words that we say or the things that we can do and features, if they don't work for you, one, the way you need it, so extreme customizable and flexibility in our system. You'll see, and Nicole will talk about whether you're doing accrued, cash, or mixed accounting, you have the ability to set that up yourself the way that your communities need to be set up. Another thing is, back in the day, I think it used to take a month or more to get all your communities in, when now we have a system that can just suck that right in and put them up and you're ready to go. And then you can even customize that if you want, or mimic an existing community. All of our accounting features, it can be completely customized, from GLs to charges and features and fees, as well as we offer a complete package by integrating all your finances. So whether it's smart banking, your accounts receivable, or your accounts payable. And we just recently launched our new accounts payable platform, which is completely digital, shaves off days from you getting your funds or paying out, both on both sides of the coin, ARAP, and really wraps it all up into one complete system. So all of your data, all of your information is all in one, and that's Enumerate Central. So next is my spiel. What we're going to do is get through, like under 10 minutes. That's good, Nicole. They always tell me less, right? So Nicole's going to take you through a product overview demo and kind of show you some of the bells and whistles and back up what I said about those three main tenets. And so with that, Nicole, take us away. I'm going to mute myself.
All right, well, first let me know if you can see my screen.
Yes.
All right, perfect. Okay, so during the demonstration, we'll be showing just how easy it is to use Enumerate Central for your community accounting and management needs. And that's whether you're a self-managed association or a portfolio management company, you can use Enumerate Central in all instances. All right, so we're going to start with the accounting. And the accounting, the backbone of the accounting is really the chart of accounts. And the chart of accounts is completely customizable for your community or communities. We can provide you with a chart of accounts if you don't have one, but if you're coming to us with your own existing chart of accounts that you've been using for years, that's fine. You can set that chart of accounts up within the system. If you manage a portfolio of communities, each community can have their own separate, individual, unique chart of accounts. It does not have to be the same for everyone. Same with accounting methods, right? You can have some communities that are cash accounting, some communities that are accrual accounting, modified accrual, what have you. You can set that up on a per community basis. The chart of accounts can be set up to use cost centers, sub-accounts, department codes, classes, whatever it is that you're used to calling those, so that you can create reports based on department, or if you're a condominium with multiple buildings, based on building. So you can do cost centers and fund accounting as well. So if you needed to produce a fund balance sheet or a P&L by fund, you can set up the different funds, as many as you need, and generate like that balance sheet like the CPA does, with a column for your operating fund and your reserve fund and your special assessment and your investments and whatever other funds that you might have.
And Nicole, that's one of the things I found out when doing like competitive research. People ask like, how are we different? Why are we so special? And it's because we go to that level of granularity and like flexibility with customization, because the software really should mold around your needs and operational needs, not the other way around. And that's one way we have a leg up over the market and our competitors, and what you're about to show. So that was a lot of customizations for everybody to hear, but we go deep.
Well, yeah, I mean, and look, I'm only on the first tab of this presentation.
I'm trying to be quiet, but I just want to, I mean,
there's a lot more coming.
Yeah. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. So then from there, we're going to talk about budgets, right? Because you've got your chart of accounts set up, you've got to get your budget into the system, you've got to be able to do your income and expense, your P&L, do the comparisons to the budget, find out, how you're tracking toward that budget, and then of course budget plan for next year, which is, kind of where we're at now. We're about the tail end of budget season. So you can get your budgets and you can enter those directly into the system. You can import the budget from Excel. If you're an Excel whiz, you want to do your budgeting there, you can import it in after you're done. And then there's also the copy budget function, which is really nice because that'll allow you to copy like from this fiscal year to next fiscal year, but I can increase or decrease by percentage. And that way, if I know the whole thing is going to go up by a percentage, I'm not sure, I haven't planned that far ahead, we'll try 10. See if that does it. If it doesn't, we can recopy it a different percentage, higher or lower, whatever works. So it's supposed to take some of that work out of the budgeting. And then on the banking side of things, we've got two different ways that you can connect with your banks and have those connected into the system. The first is through the banking aggregator. Within the banking aggregator, there are about 10,000 banks. I just searched for bank, and you can see, you know, kind of the handful of banks that came up. But you can connect through the banking aggregator to your bank. That will allow you to view the real-time bank balance in our software, so you can see the GL bank balance as well as what the bank says is in the account, and also do automated bank reconciliation. So each night, as transactions have cleared the bank account, they'll come into the central program to find the matching transaction there and clear for you off of your bank rec. So end of the month, when you get your bank statement and you're comparing that to your checkbook, the majority of the transactions should have auto cleared. You should have very little work to do at the end of the month. The other way is connecting through our smart banking platform. And we're connected with a handful of banks with direct connection for smart banking. And there are a lot more features that are available with smart banking. So you still have that real-time bank balance. You still have the automated bank reconciliation. But then you see you've got a bunch of other things like lockbox. If you've got a lockbox set up with the bank, the homeowners are making their payments direct to the lockbox. That lockbox file will automatically come over overnight and post into the system, updating the homeowner ledgers, updating the general ledgers for the funds that were deposited. So you don't have to go in and either manually enter in those payments or upload a file yourself. It's all automated. You can transfer funds between accounts. You can, you know, print the bank statement with your bank rec report. There's a lot that comes with that smart banking integration.
And it reduces portals, so you don't need banking portal logons or additional browsers or all that stuff. So portal fatigue and clicking fatigue goes away.
Yeah, I mean, especially if you work with a lot of different banks, and that means you've got to have a lot of different logins and a lot of, you know, bookmarks and stuff on your browser. I don't have any, so
Talk
it's
to a customer.
all in here.
Couldn't imagine, because I talked to a customer yesterday who they have 50 different banks, and I was like, oh my good, do you just, I mean, you have to write those down, right? So that's a security risk right there. So yeah.
Yep, absolutely. No, I was going to give you a tip there, but I'm gonna keep it to myself. No, I'm not. Do you know that pencil is almost invisible when you write on black? So if you write on pencil on the back of your keyboard, nobody's going to see that, but you'll know it's there.
Nice.
Okay, so then moving into accounts receivable, right? So we're talking about making this easy. With accounts receivable, the automation that's built into the package is going to be what's going to make that easy. All of the different charge functions can be automated. So application of the maintenance fees on the first of the month, the first of the quarter, the first of the year, twice a year, whatever that frequency is, you can use the automation to automatically schedule that. Late fees, interest application, all of those can be automated to automatically apply to the homeowners. Late fees and interest, you just set that minimum balance threshold or that minimum date for you know, calculation of the interest, and the software will take it from there. On top of the ability to automate at the individual association and charge level, though, we also have what we call workflows. And so you can create a workflow template. Now, this is not just limited to AR. You can see you can add all kinds of things, accounts payable items, reports, recurring journal entries, and the like. But I particularly like it for accounts receivable because you can set up the entire month's worth of AR processes as one automated job. And then you can apply that automated job to multiple communities in your portfolio. So if you're a property management company, you set up your automation once. Mine has like the charges posted on the 1st, the collections generate, the late letters generate on the 11th, the late fees post on the 16th, interest posts on the 28th. It emails me a report at the end of the month. And then as I take on a new community, I can just apply this automation workflow to that community, and all of those functions are automated. So it makes it super easy to get to hit the ground running really when you take on a new association.
And another cool feature is these on the right, you can see you can set it to where run them no matter what, or if the job before fails, stop and alert me. And so you can fix something and then put it back on if something needs to be corrected. That way you're not running it and you don't know what is completed, what hasn't, and where the holes are. So it's got a lot of great features and customization within that as well.
Yep, absolutely. So then talking on the other side of things, right, we've applied the charges to our homeowners. The homeowners need to make their payments. We talked about the smart banking with the direct integration for Lockbox. By the way, that Lockbox file, if it comes over through that smart banking integration, will also include the images of the checks that were mailed into the Lockbox by the homeowners. So within the homeowner history, when you look at their history, you'll actually be able to see the check that they mailed to the bank. Also, from the history, you'll have this Pay Now button, which will allow you to process an electronic payment on behalf of the homeowner. Now, with the Engage platform, the homeowners can log in, they can pay electronically themselves through Engage. But if you have the homeowners that would much rather call you and have you do it for them, then you can process that for them. You just hit the Pay Now button, the Make a Payment panel slides open. If you've already got a payment method on file for this particular owner, you just say, okay, do you want that to come out of your bank account or credit card? Oh no, you'd rather give me another credit card? Sure, that's fine. I will accept that credit card information. I will process the payment for you. So you can make those electronic payments. It will automatically post to the homeowner's account, so you don't have to enter it in a second time, and the funds will find their way into the bank account through our payment processor, Zego.
And this is also a good time to convince that homeowner that likes to call you every month to make a payment to just go ahead and enroll in auto pay, and they'll get notifications and advanced messaging, and it'll just do it for them.
Yeah, auto pay is great because of that advanced messaging, because it notifies the owner that charges have been applied and they're signed up for auto pay, and there's nothing for them to do. It sends them a receipt after the auto pay occurs. And so, with homeowners, generally you can't over communicate.
Right.
And so this will take care of that for you.
Right.
And then finally, in accounts receivable, I wanted to talk a little bit more about the collections process, because although I did touch on it a little bit with the automation, the collections process is another place that's going to save you time, because you can set up for each community, and it can be the same or different, again, depending on the community's needs. But essentially, it's the cadence of letters that go out to the homeowners when they become past due and as they continue to remain past due. And you can set up as many different letters, notifications to send out to the homeowners, and the system, based on the balance that the homeowner is carrying and the amount of time that they've been carrying that balance, will automatically step the owners through the letters, generate the letters, email out the letters, or you can mail them out. And if you want to include the homeowner's ledger along with the letters so that they don't call and be like, what do you mean I owe $300? The ledger's attached that shows exactly how. And that ledger starts at the last time they were at zero. So they don't even have to figure out when they started to go past due, because that's going to be the beginning of the ledger. So you can have that go out to the homeowners too, and just again increase the communication. They can then log into the Engage platform to look at it themselves, to respond back to you, making everything a lot easier for everyone.
Right.
So from accounts receivable, now we're going to move over to accounts payable. Now, with the accounts payable, the vendors in the system are global. So there's only one of each vendor, unless you needed to have the vendor in there more than one time, but that's not necessary. So you just have the vendor set up once, and your community selector up here that lets you kind of switch between communities if you're a portfolio manager will filter the vendors based on whether or not they've ever either been paid by a community or had a work order assigned to them from the community. So although the vendors are global, you can still pull community-specific vendor list just based on whether or not the association has done any business with that vendor. And then the vendor's profile gives you access to their insurance information if you're tracking that. that, the contract details, the attachments of the contract and the certificates of insurance and all of that. So it's not just information about the properties and owners, but the vendor information as well. As Adam alluded to, we have for invoice entry, we have our new AP inbox. Now, of course, you can manually enter in invoices, right? If you want to go in to the enter bills function and look up the vendor and type in the invoice number and type in the invoice amount and all of that, absolutely, you can do that. What the inbox does is it uses OCR technology to do that data entry for you. So the invoice either gets emailed into the inbox directly from the vendor, or they email it to you and you forward it to the inbox, or you use the upload function. If they mail the invoice in, you can scan and upload it directly into the system, and it will do the data entry. So all you have to do is look at the invoice that was submitted by the vendor and confirm the entry that the program did. Got the correct vendor, got the correct invoice amount, invoice number, coded the invoice to the default expense account you've got set up on the vendor, so you don't even have to code these bills anymore. And as long as everything looks correct, you just accept the bill into the system so that it can either be approved internally by the property management, approved property manager, approved externally by the board of directors through the Engage platform, and then go ahead and make payment on the invoice. And when you make payment on the invoice, you can print checks out of the system. You can print checks with digital signatures. If you're getting that electronic approval from the board, then you don't necessarily need to have them sign the checks. So you can print the checks with the digital signatures, or you can use our digital AP platform through Paymerang, where rather than you printing checks, you transmit a payment file to Paymerang. They will then pay the vendors on behalf of the associations. And that way the vendors can get paid by an ACH transfer, they can get virtual credit card. Paymerang will even mail them a check if the vendor wants to receive a check in the mail. But those checks then are more secure because they're not drawn on the association's bank account. It makes your bank reconciliation that much easier, and there's no cost to the vendor if the vendor wants to get paid by ACH. So that's even more secure. They get paid faster. They don't have to deposit checks, and there's no concern about mail thieves.
Right. And they mask and encrypt all the financial information. So you're as opposed to a check where all your information is out there, it is not. So both for you and your vendor's account information is completely hidden, tokenized, encrypted. All the buzzwords for cybersecurity are taken care of. So even the virtual cards, which are the fastest way, the number is never used again. It's digitally created one time and then it expires. So if they don't cash it, transfer it, use it, it's gone, and they'll have to do it again. So it's completely a much safer way than putting all your financial information out in the world.
Yep, and if anything ever happens, the vendor doesn't receive the check, there's no additional costs for stop payment, reissues, nothing like that. It's so simple.
And our payment vendor will even go and check on them and try to contact them, try to recorrect everything. So they take that off of your plate and they do it for at no extra charge.
Yep, absolutely. All right, so now moving away from accounting and into operations, let's talk a little bit about the property and homeowner information, because of course, you need to be able to track all of the homes, all of the people associated within the community. Now, there is a search up here at the top of the page, and that allows you to search pretty much anything. Property and owner information, vendors, check numbers, accounting transactions, name, address, phone number, email address, anything that you can think of, you can search in the system. If you're a portfolio management company, you don't need to select the community before you do a search. Half the time, the owners can't tell you what association they live in anyway, so you just type in what they can tell you. Is it their name? Is it their address? Is it their next door neighbor's name? Because then you can kind of scroll through and see who that might be. So you can find the correct owner. If you know the community information, you can make it community specific. If you know you're searching for an owner versus the vendor, you can make that community specific. So it's really flexible, but it's also very powerful for navigating through the system. Now this is the property profile page. So this is all of the information about a particular home within the community. So I can see all of the details of the home, square footage, assessed value, percentage of ownership. That can be used to calculate the recurring charges. You can subdivide the community. If it's an HOA, you can set up sections based on geographic location like I have. It's on the lake, it's on the golf course. For a condominium, if there's multiple buildings, you can use the sections for different buildings, or if it's a single building and you want to create the sections for stacks, it just allows you to do targeted communications to subset of owners. So if it is a condominium and you want to send out an email to like the 03 stack, you know, 101 to or 103, 203, 303, because they're going to shut off the plumbing to do a repair or what have you, then that allows you to do communications to that subset of homeowners. Contacts, all of the people associated with the home. Now there is a resale process that's built into the system that allows you to change from a current owner, move them to a previous owner, and enter in the information for the new homeowner. So you can keep track of the history of ownership within the community. That process will remove the previous owner's ability to log into the Engage platform for this home. They don't own it anymore. They shouldn't be able to look at the account information. And then also when the new homeowner logs in and looks at the account information, you can make it so that they see that beginning when they purchase the home. So new owner doesn't see previous owners, late fees, pay frequency, and the like. You can set up custom fields. So you can create fields to track absolutely anything related to the community, the vendors, the properties, the owners. So if you need to track parking information, vehicle information, pet information, if it's a 55 and over, birth date information, if it's a condominium, when was the last time the water heater was inspected, you can create custom fields to track all of that. Any of the data that you put in the custom fields, you can also search for up here, so it's completely usable. You can create custom reports to report on that custom field data. You can merge it into form letters to mail out or email out to the homeowners. So it's really powerful. Anything that you might have in an Excel spreadsheet or paper files, you can create custom fields and track it in the system. Delivery preferences, right? The different kinds of communications that can be generated to the system. You can set those up for the people to receive those however they want. This is on the person, not the property. So if the property has multiple owners and they don't all want email, that's fine. Whichever ones want email can be set up for email. Whichever ones want mail can be set up for mail. If your state allows you to make that decision for them, then on a global basis, you can just force everybody to receive email if you have an email address for them. Some states don't allow that. Some states don't care. So you could do that either way. And then of course, you know, kind of going back and looking at the homeowner ledger, the homeowner history, you can easily see, you know, what's going on with the homeowner. As I mentioned, if payments came in through the integrated lockbox through smart banking, then when I expand this payment in the owner's ledger, there'd be an icon to see the image of the check that was mailed in by the homeowner. If I expand this violation that the homeowner was fined for, I can see the picture and the letters that were sent to communicate the violation and all the violation details. So I can, of course, navigate to these items, but I don't have to. I can view it all within the owner's ledger. And then, of course, I can email this ledger to the attorney, to the title company. I can have it start at that zero balance and make sure that, again, I'm only communicating what's important for our particular needs.
Right, so all the right there. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, everything is right there on the one page. So easy to find. So now moving into some of the management aspects, we've got our CC&Rs, right? Your covenants, conditions, and restrictions, and the violations of those covenants, right? So you can track all of the covenants in the CC&R codes that a homeowner might potentially violate. And within the Field Ops app, you can actually do your property inspections. So you can look at an existing existing violation. You can take pictures of the violations. You can update the violations with more information. You can walk through the community. You can close violations. You can create them and do all of your inspections on the map view. And you can see the little dot kind of is you going, well, it's actually me, but it could be you, going through the community to do these violation inspections. So it makes it super easy to do those inspections, to get the violations in the system, and then use the batch functionality to get the letters out to the homeowners. The violation letters can be emailed just like any other communication. They can be put in the mail as well. We have an integration with a mailing service. They were called South Data. Now they're Everview, right?
Review, yeah.
Yep. So any letter that can be generated from the system that needs to get printed and put in the mail, if you don't want to do that labor, you can send that batch off to Everview. They'll do the printing, they'll do the mailing for you. Everything, of course, can be emailed generally through the system. Emailing is unlimited. I guess at this point, I should also mention what else is unlimited, right? So emailing's unlimited, users are unlimited, so you can create as many users and logins as you need to. Data storage is unlimited so that you can attach all of the documents that you need to in the system. Codes are unlimited, charges are unlimited, people are unlimited, everything's unlimited. Right. I guess I should have just led with everything.
Everything.
Yes.
Yeah.
So when you generate those letters, if you need to have additional letters go out to the renter, to multiple owners, to the multiple addresses for the owners, you can generate all of those easily through the CC&R batch functionality.
I'm sure your neighbors in your neighborhood enjoyed you walking around filming their houses and taking pictures of their lawn.
Well, I did it like right around 9 a.m. with the hopes that everybody was at work.
Good call.
I was not chased by any dogs. So moving from violations now to work orders, work order management is also part of the system. And what's nice about the work order management is that you can keep track of the work orders either related to the community and or related to the homeowners within the community. So again, if you're a condominium association and there's association responsibility within the units due to a plumbing leak, due to a roof leak, then you can associate it with either the community itself or that particular unit. In addition to that, you can also associate the work orders with an amenity. And you can set up, again, amenities are unlimited. You can set up any amenity, which is really a common area. And it doesn't have to be like a common area like the pool. It could be the roof. It can be limited common elements of balconies. It can be the parking lot. It can be the lobby. It can be the carpet. It can be the work truck that the association has, right? Any asset that you would need to track work and repairs and things on, you can set up as an amenity in the system. On top of that, automation, not just for AR, I did mention that when we went through the workflows, you can set up automated work orders in the system as well. So you can have recurring work orders for preventative maintenance items. So every month when there were 90 days, depending on the AC filters that you buy, you can have that work order be created so that the maintenance man can go and replace the AC filters in the common areas. You can have a work order automatically generated to split and clean the pool filter, to do maintenance on the irrigation system, to check all the street lights and make sure that they turn on, right? Whatever you want, you can create recurring work orders and track those in the system. If the work orders are issued to an outside vendor or an on-site maintenance staff, you can easily communicate with them about the work orders, send those out via email, automate the work order report to constantly email the vendor to remind them of the open work that they have within the community. So it's really designed to keep track of and then communicate on the work that needs to be done within the association.
That comes in handy, especially for like elevator inspections, because that's a big fine, or fire extinguisher inspections. That's a big fine. So setting those things up, you don't have to worry about them.
Yep, absolutely. Perfect examples. Also, requests are can be managed in the system too. So general request, anything that comes in from a homeowner that's not a service request or an architectural change request, you can track. Service requests are the homeowners reporting an issue, may or may not need to be a work order. You can either convert it to a work order if it is association responsibility, or communicate back to the homeowner at the service ticket level to let them know that unfortunately their toilet is their problem. Good luck. And then of course, architectural requests, architectural tickets, those can all be managed within the system as well. And then to bring that all together, you have the Community Actions dashboard. And that is a graphical interface of everything that's going on either with a single community or your portfolio of communities. So you can see the breakdown of open work orders, the breakdown of open violations, architectural change requests. And you can see I've got specific reports or charts for the different areas. So if I go to CC&R, I can see, more detail about the violations, what the trends are in the violations. I can do the same thing for the work orders, what the trends are for the work orders. So if I need to buy parts, I know when to buy them because I know we're going to have a spike in sprinkler repairs or the like because of the reporting that's built into the central program. And then, of course, all of this syncs with the Engage platform. So homeowners can view the work orders related to their home, the violations related to their home. They can communicate back to you about the violations. They can explain why the holiday lights go well with the flamingos that they put in the front yard in July. So
Right.
communication is a breeze with the system.
It also shows, just to call out for it, like on a different application, you can see where it says assigned to. So you can see how long it's taking for a particular employee to close out tickets or to work them, or is there an issue? Is there a performance issue, or is someone really, really good at closing out those and communicating to homeowners? So it also gives you a little bit of administrative function to see kind of the workings of your office and who's performing what well or not well. Yeah.
Yep.
So
So yeah. So moving on from here, we're going to go to the reporting. The information, the data is really only as good as the reports that you're getting out of the system, primarily because that's what the board sees, right? The board sees the reports. They don't see necessarily the work that's gone into producing those reports. They just see the reports themselves. Now, because Central was designed specifically for community associations, all of our reports are geared specifically for community associations. They're not rental reports that were adapted. They're not business reports that were adapted. They're community association reports. So of course, you've got your annual meeting sign-in report, your membership meeting sign-in report, your owner rosters, your resale reports, your accounting reports, your management reports, your year-end reports. Everything's in the system. And what's nice too about the reports is, number one, they all produce to the screen relatively quickly. I don't have to fill out a whole bunch of stuff just to see my report. And I can drill in from the report too. So here, when we're looking at our P&L, our income and expense statement, if the variances that I'm seeing against the budget are significantly greater than zero, then I can drill into the GL accounts and see why. Did I make a mistake? No. Did we go, budget incorrectly? Possibly. But you can see that information. You can access it directly from the report. Now, you also have the ability to create custom reports. You can create custom reports on all of the property owner custom field data. You can create custom reports on the financials. You can create a custom P&L. You can create a custom balance sheet, custom reserve statement. You can generate those custom reports. And then you can also customize the existing reports. So this is that standard income statement, but I've customized it to add a logo here. I've customized it to get rid of the stinking 1-inch margin at the top because it drives me up a wall. If I wanted to, I could change, look, I did. I changed the colors here too. So you can update the existing reports or you can create your own reports from scratch, whatever works best for you. And then, of course, report packages, right? I've got all of these reports. I don't want to generate 10 individual reports each month for the board of directors. So all you do is you create a report package one time. The report package can be accessed across multiple communities, or it can be specific to a community. I have all of the reports that I need in this package, my accounting reports. I can drag over my violation report if I want to have that in here too. It's not limited to the accounting report. I can have the same report in here multiple times, and it'll create a PDF file that contains all of these reports, which I can then email to the board. Or automation alert, I could just have the system automatically generate it and email it for me.
Right. The workflows that you showed earlier when we were looking at the AR, one of the options is generate report package, right? And
Yep.
so set it, forget it, and your monthly board reports go out automatically now, and you're not spending 2 days putting them together, right?
Yep, exactly. So from here, I want to jump over to the Engage platform, just to give you a taste of what that has to offer. So with the Engage platform, it can be a community website like you see here, or it can be a homeowner portal. So if the association needs that public-facing web presence, then you can have a website. If that's not necessarily, you just want the homeowners to be able to log in, access their account history and some other information, then it can be set up as a portal. Either way, there are a lot of features that assist with the communication to the homeowners. So there's the community feed that allows you to push out communications in the way the homeowner wants to receive them. They can, by me just creating this one post, it'll send an email to the homeowners that want email. It'll send a text message to the homeowners that want text messages, and it'll give a push notification to the app, because the website and portal is also an app that the homeowners can download from the App Store, to the homeowners that want to get those push notifications. It'll do all three if the homeowners sign up for all three. If the homeowner doesn't want to get the notifications, but they have their habits, they scroll Facebook, they scroll Engage, they can just come through here and see the communications that you've put out there for them. So it centralizes the location, and there's no concern about you sent me this thing, I don't know what I did with it, can you resend it again? You don't have to. Just log into the app or the website or the portal, and you can see it right there. So it simplifies communications. Also, if you're a portfolio management company, you can push to all of your communities at once. So here in Florida, we've had some weather events recently. We're trying to forget it. I keep bringing it up. I apologize. But if you wanted to send out something to all of your communities, explaining that they need to bring in their outdoor furniture, or please don't call and complain that the pool is closed. It's closed because there's a hurricane coming, right? You can push that out to all of your communities. There's a calendar in here, right? So you can set up recurring events for the homeowners. You can set up parties and RSVP events and track who's going to attend. You can have one-time events. So there's a community calendar for each association within the portal or the website. There are online forms that you can set up. You can have forms for the homeowners to submit service requests, architectural change requests, anything else, lease applications, guest parking permits, violation resolution reports, right? Maybe they grudgingly admitted that, yeah, the holiday lights and the flamingos don't go well together, and they sent you a picture showing that they've removed the flamingos, not the holiday lights. So you can set up forms for anything that the homeowners might need to communicate with you. And then if you have a community that has amenities that the homeowners need to reserve, like a meeting room, a party room, you can have them do that on the website or on the website. If there's something that they should reserve, because everybody's constantly arguing over who's going to play tennis today at 2 o'clock, you can set it up for those kinds of reservations as well. So again, it's just designed to make everything easier for you and make the community more accessible to the homeowners. And then of course, you've got everything that's integrated that automatically comes over from the central program. The owner's balance, the owner's accounting history, the owner's balance breakdown, the ability to make an electronic payment or a sign up for auto pay, the ability for the homeowners to view those violations, work orders, requests, and the like through the system. There's a board area for the board members to self-inform what are the violations, work orders, ARC requests in the community. What are the bills that we need to pay? And if you're using AP approval where you can't pay the bills until you get the thumbs up from the board, that can all be done electronically. Board documents, board communications, everything is in here, that one-stop shop for all of the homeowners, owners and board alike. Obviously, if the owner is not on the board, they wouldn't see any of this board information, but it just gives, again, that one point of access for your homeowners, for your board members. So then let's talk about, I do have a few minutes left here, how, now that you've seen how easy it is to use the system, how do you actually get into it, right? So setting up communities is really easy in the Enumerate Central program, and there are many ways that you can do that. If you're a go-getter and you've got everything on Excel spreadsheets, then there are import functions for the different areas in the system. You can import in community information, property and owner information, owner beginning balances, your chart of accounts, your GL beginning balances, your vendors, your codes, everything can be imported from an Excel spreadsheet. If you're a management company or you're an association that's going self-managed, that's with a property management company that already uses the central program, then they can actually transfer the community from their central program to yours. So you don't have to do any of the setup because they did it already. And you can accept that. And you can accept as much or as little as you want. So if you don't want the vendors, because they'll probably be duplicate vendors, don't accept the vendors, but you definitely want the chart of accounts and the properties and owners and their balances and the codes and the 2 years of reports that you get with that community transfer. If you have the Excel spreadsheets and you don't want to do the import, which is fine, we offer data migration services. So we will take those spreadsheets, we will do the community setup, we will migrate the data for you. If you try to do it yourself and it doesn't turn out well, it happens, then the system is really easy. It allows you to delete, right? You can delete the owners and start all over again. You can delete the accounting transactions and start all over again. The audit log that's built into the system tracks it all. So it will know that you started, you tried, you deleted it all, and then called for help. And then you move on to the next month, and it's water under the bridge, and nobody knows after that, except for the audit log. But anything in the system is a soft delete, right? I can still access this adjustment that was deleted. It's marked as deleted, but I can still see what it was. And if I were smart and I put in a reason why I deleted it, then I'll know at the end of the year, because I forgot why I deleted it, I can go back and see that reason why. So the system is really designed to make it easy for you to get started and then easy to do the work that you need to do so that you can spend more time out in the community. Or if you're a board-run association, at home with your family or your dog and your book and your Netflix, however else you would prefer to spend that time.
Yeah, nice. And there's so much more that is in this system. I was thinking, Nicole, when you said don't accept the vendors because it'll duplicate them sometimes. Well, we know that happens, and so we just so happen to have created multiple tools for vendor management, so you can clean those guys up. You can that way your AP process is easier and cleaner and neater, and you're not having to go in there and manually post or manually do things because you've already done the pre-work to keep your vendor list clean. And we do it with tools for you, so you don't have to manually go through hundreds and hundreds of vendors. So another way how we keep it simple, we keep it easy, we make it work for you. And so there's so much more. If you guys are interested in even going deeper, we're always available for additional questions and additional demos. Nicole does 7-8 demos a day probably, and so she knows this stuff. She can do it in her sleep. I have a feeling she has pretty boring dreams, so processes, PCRs.
If you think this stuff is boring, I live it, I love it, it's fine.
Yeah, you're really good at it. Well, that completes our demo portion, so let's roll into any Q&A or questions. I did see one come into the chat, so you may have to go back on screen. Nicole, someone wants to know if U.S. Century Bank is part of our list for like our aggregator. And I mean, I have to assume that that's kind of a big bang that is going to be in there, since we have over 10,000 financial institutions that we can access across the world.
Let's see. There's a lot of different US. Yes, U.S. Century Bank is in here. Yes, it
There
is.
we go. So that's that question. Yep.
For what
And
it's worth, also is Ukrainian self-reliance.
yep. Let's see if there's anything else coming in. So you mentioned transferring a service request to to a work order, right? So someone wants to know, when you do that, does the information go with it?
Yes, and that's what's nice. First off, if the service request came in from the homeowner portal, and then the homeowner has the ability to attach a picture to that service request. So if they're reporting something and they have a picture, then that will come over into Central. When that is converted to a work order, the picture stays attached. So not only do you get all of the detail that was reported by the homeowner, but you also get the picture as well. So you don't have to re-enter, update, reattach, none of that. It all comes over. Also, of course, you could create the service request directly in the Central program. So if the homeowner calls with that or comes in because they didn't have anything else to do, then you can do that for them.
Right, nice. Yeah, so it does all the work for you, so that's really great. This next one. So I think I know what they're asking. If not, please ask again. The community feeds, you showed us like the one community feed, but you can have multiple, right? You can have additional feeds based on whatever. So whether it's like dog pics that you can vote on, you probably saw that there's classifieds that your community can post to on the field, but you also have more than just one community feed. It can be on different topics. And then Nicole, can tell us about, you can also create like clubs and committees, right? And subcommittees and private committees.
Yeah. So if you're an active community and there's clubs, right? There's a book club, a chess club, a line dance club, what have you, pickleball club, then you can create those clubs within the Engage platform. And the homeowners that have those interests, that want to get together and talk about those interests and go to the dances at the country bar, what have you, they can have their own kind of communication area within that Engage platform.
And it can be public or private, right?
It can be public, yeah. So a club is more public, right? Like, I don't know if I like line dancing, but maybe I'll go to their next event to see if I like it. So that would be open for anybody to see. But a committee, right, where they're reviewing the architectural requests, or the budget committee, or the tech committee, or the social committee, right, where you want to keep a little mystery there, those can be private. They can still do the communication on Engage, but not just everybody would be able to see that.
And then you did call out, I just want to make sure everybody caught that, because we talk really fast for this hour. There is a mobile download app so whenever you're sending notifications or messages or any kind of alerts, it goes directly into the hand, because most people have their phone in their hand most hours of the day that they're awake. So they will get all your information, all your messages directly to them. With their preference. And so one of the things we didn't have time to show you is that they engage the homeowners, and they can add additional residents, so members of their household also get access. They set up their preference profile, which includes, do they want to be part of the book club, aka wine night, or are they on on the Gryffindor's pickleball team, or et cetera. So like, it allows you to set up quite a bit of information for them, and they can do it themselves as well. Where is the webinar? Okay, so Sharon Marks, yes. So this is being recorded, and we will send out a thank you email for attending with a link to the webinar. It usually within 48 hours. So Sharon, you'll have that. So yes, it is being recorded. A question for you: how do you track renters in a condo owned by others? I think I said that correctly, for Nick Schilling.
Yeah, so there are flags on each and every unit within the condo, and so you would set that particular unit with the rental flag to true, so you would know that that unit is a rental unit. And then in the area where you have the contacts, which would be the owners and previous owners and the like, you can set up renter contacts. You can have the lease start date, the lease end date. You can track when the lease ends, which would if it's not renewed, then no longer make them a current renter. And you can have custom fields on the renters as well as the owners. So if you needed to track any other information about the renter, you can do security deposits in the system for damage or move-in fees. You know, if you needed to track any of the renters, you know, contacts and pets and the like, you can track that on the renter as well.
Good stuff. Just so you guys know, I know we're getting close to wrapping, but Nicole and I, and then also Vishnu, did two previous webinars. I feel like it feels like yesterday, Nicole. But we are the webinar team for year-end closing. So we know you guys are all going through those activities now, and that's available for replay on our website. So go enumerate.com. And then we also did a great and very thorough budgeting webinar, where not only did we have the Vice President of Finance, but also Nicole take us through best practices and then how Central allows to pretty much do all the work for you and helps you. So those two are also available as you guys are wrapping your year. And with that, I think that is all the questions.
We have a special offer that we wanted to talk about too.
Thank you for reminding me. I'm sorry, I'm watching the clock tick. Thank you. So we actually are, if you are interested in signing up or learning more, and then you sign up with us before the end of the year, we actually have a special offer. Just mention that you spoke with Adam and Nicole on the latest webinar, product overview, and then you'll apply or receive a discount off your services. So because we're glad to have you, and we're hoping that we get to set up shop with you and help you and be even more successful in 2025. So I think that's all the questions. Just as a reminder, at the close of the survey, or of this webinar, you'll get a little bit of a survey just to let us know if you're interested or if you have additional questions that you didn't get to ask. Sometimes GoTo is a little tricky when submitting questions if you're not used to it. But you can always email us directly at marketing@goenumerate.com, and we'll be glad to talk to you anytime. Nicole and I are always available, so give us a shout. And thank you for joining today. And with that, we'll say goodbye.
Thanks,
Nicole.